Who is John Galt? Welcome to the Energy Sovereignty Project, and a quick topic that I'm going to call Venezuela Shrugged. In Ayn Rand's novel Atlas Shrugged, the character John Galt entices some of the most productive and influential people in society to come and live with him in a land where they can thrive in accordance to their ability to produce and the content of their character. Now, in order to entice these people to come and join him, Ayn Rand uses a plot device in the book, an invention on the part of John Galt called Galt's motor. Now, Galt's motor is a motor generator that basically pulls free energy off of the atmosphere. Well, Ayn Rand penned her manuscript in 1953 and 1954. So she can be forgiven for not incorporating solar energy into the concept of Galt's motor in any way. Solar cells, and certainly the ability to join solar cells and batteries, wouldn't really be seen even in the space program until around 1958. So, as we progress through the novel, we discover that Galt's engine, Galt's motor, is a metaphor for those baseline technologies that allow us to then uplift ourselves as a society. It can be argued that nothing in between the covers of Atlas Shrugged would have been possible were it not for Galt's engine, Galt's motor. Well, today we have Galt's motor. You've seen it demonstrated right here. So the reason I'm calling this Venezuela Shrugged is for those of you that are keeping up with current events, you'll have come to realize that Venezuela has been without power for nearly a week. Now, as an engineer, when we had the power outages in the eastern seaboard, I took keen notice to those elements that both caused it and how we recovered from it. But I also took a keen interest in the ramifications of that extensive power outages. What happened on day one? What happened on day two? What happened on day three? Day four? So, what was discovered during the extensive examinations of the social aspects of a protracted power outage was that any major city, certainly one the size of Caracas, can last 7 to 10 days before it devours itself. And as it devours itself, it's running out of water, the people are running out of food, and ultimately the fires start. And once the fires start, there isn't really any way to put them out. Once everything is said and done and the fires have burned themselves out to the extent that they're able, then the cholera starts and the typhus starts. So the people of Venezuela right now are in a terrible state. So what does Galt's engine have to do with any of this? Well, obviously, I think that those that have been following along with the Energy Sovereignty Project are going to be able to pretty easily see how energy sovereignty ties in to help us when we see situations like what's going on in Venezuela right now. The primary issue with being in a city when the power goes out for a protracted period of time is that you don't have any way to transport yourself or transport goods that you need to survive. If you are able to do that, then the entire situation can be ridden out. Using the power from Galt's engine and putting it into an electric vehicle now gives us the ability to use that power for transportation. Transportation is huge. It allows us to take out the trash, take it to a landfill. It allows us to seek out fresh water sources, even 100 or more miles away. And it also allows us, if the need should arise, to remove ourselves completely from the city, from the situation that we're in. So what we're going to do now is I've put 100 miles on the car, 33 kilowatts, 33 kilowatt hours. And what we're going to do now is we are going to drive to a landfill, and we are going to drive to a fresh spring, and take you along for the trip so that we can see an actual example of what true energy sovereignty could have done for everybody in Venezuela. Let's go. Well, our first stop is the public landfill. Not much to see here. Now let's continue on and get some water. So a natural spring is a whole lot more interesting than a garbage dump. Pretty out here. Pretty out here. This whole area is a mineral spring that dates back to the 1800s, so that's kind of cool. So here we are. It's pretty amazing to me to think that we just drove here 30 miles on sunlight, the sunlight that we collected on our roof that was in excess of what we needed to run the house. Today it's going to be about a 50 kilowatt hour day, and 30 kilowatts were put into the vehicle, 33 kilowatt hours were put into the vehicle, and 20 and change to run the house. So we used a little bit more than the home used to do our driving, to go to the refuse dump, to come here to a spring that could be used for a source of fresh water if you absolutely needed to. I'm sure there's others. And then we'll take the 30-mile trip back, and we'll still have 30 miles to spare on the vehicle. So it's difficult not to be impressed by that. It also almost begs disbelief. So I guess that's where we are with this special. So my heart goes out to all the people that are suffering in Venezuela. I really wish that it didn't have to be that way. I'm hoping that economically they can turn their country around, politically they can turn their country around. Who is John Galt?